So there was this great Russian dramaturg with a book called the personality of the actor, or the work of the actor in himself or in his own personality, something like this. This is a book that I bought, and as many books that I had, I didn't read the whole book. But only the title was already enough to give me very important insights that, of course, I combined with some things that I learned from another philosopher, another Brazilian philosopher, the Olavo de Carvalho, who spoke a lot about the concept of personality. What is indeed nothing new, because also Kierkegaard, so the philosopher about whom I also wrote some publications, he was very concerned about the problem of the personality, and it was the first philosopher. Well, you can discuss if he was more first than Nietzsche, but he was the first philosopher who intensively spoke about the problem of personality in a more so extensive, comprehensive way, in a more global way. Nietzsche spoke a lot about the personality in a more indirect way. Schopenhauer even more indirect. And you find such things, of course, in Pascal and in the moralists of the Renaissance. However, the key insight here in art is that an actor has the personality as his main. It is his artistic matter, so to say. So it is the sculptor has to sculpt the stone, and the actor. It is very evident that he has to work with his personality and on his personality. Now, the composers, they absolutely forget about this aspect of musical composition, and the result that you have when you have composers and also artists who do absolutely forget the role that their personality play in what they are doing. The result is a very fake and empty level of expression. So a very abstract, distantiated level of expression that starts to lose the connection with the reality. Because how do you connect with the reality as a composer? It is through very deeper and not usual level of emotional communication, or a deeper and not usual level of rational organization, as we have in Bach's Kunst der Fuge, for example, Art of the Fugue. So the composer today is a typical human being of today. And what are the human beings of today? They can't perceive and they can't understand what is going on in other human beings. So it is a self-enclosure human being. So you can't feel the emotions. You can emote and you can empathize. So the two ways go together. Because you can empathize, you can't emote. So you can provoke motion. You can provoke movement, and this is what composition is about. So you see that a lot of composers, they are absolutely boring. I'm not speaking about introvert and being serious, because I know many composers who are like silent and like introverts and compose very loud music, let's say. However, I'm speaking about an empty personality with nothing to say. Okay. And it is amazing how this reflects in the music of today. And why is this? Because most people, the connection that they have to music, the access, the first impression that they have of music, even as a creator, is the superficial value of music, the social value of music, is the social position, is the fame. And this is more true than ever. So in the time of Bach, it was a job, and it was not like a thing that you want that you are in a championship of status, you understand? Of course, there was competition, but there were many motivators for you to be a good musician, a good composer, alone, for your own sake and for the eternity. Principally, in the Baroque era, in the classical era. By classical era, I mean this era that has a very Platonic or Aristotelic paradigm behind it. So until Kant, and the idea is that you can't work on your expression as a composer without working on your personality. So there is no way to do this. An evidence for this is that the way that you are experiencing the major works of music, the biggest artworks created in musical terms, the way that you experience them is directly related to the way that you relate to yourself and the way that you open yourself to new emotions and to a wider universe. So there is no way that you are a stupid, boring personality and that you want to compose awesome orchestral music. And what we have is many composers who are absolutely a poor artistical personality. They are still not a self-developed artistic personality, and they want to use the most complex to express musical content. So they have a huge tool, but nothing to express. So they have only the label, but not the content. Okay, and this sounds so stupid and so useless. Now, also in the older part of society, we have people who feed this. So it's amazing how people who are supporting music and paying for music, how poor is the conception of music. Okay, so they are paid so a huge amount of money sometimes for a composer to compose something that any beginner can do in their computer. You understand? So there is absolutely no perception of what is artistic value, what is uniqueness, and what is worth pay attention to. It is a situation where we can't recognize the very basic fact that a valuable musical artwork is directly related to how it can be imitated or not. Okay, so if you do something today for orchestra that everyone can imitate the next day in 5 minutes, this is not value. Okay, this is not artistical value, because artistical value is dependent on how the artworks bring us from the immanent perception of the world, so this worldly perception of the world, into a more transcendent experience. And I am not speaking only about fantasy music, but even musical realism, as we had in Shostakovich. Why is the Fifth Symphony of Shostakovich so awesome? It's a realist symphony because he goes in the essence of reality. He takes all the complexity of his experience and the experience that people are experienced at that time in the communist Russia. He takes this complexity and unifies in a symbolic unity that is transcendent and allows you to experience it and to expand your own personality. So this is the point of musical composition, and you have to work from the start on this, otherwise you are an imposter. Okay, so people create videos of imposter syndrome. Yes, because you are an imposter. Okay, so see you later.